Hi, and welcome to the Mount Lebanon Minute. I'm Laura Lilley from the Mount Lebanon Public Information Office.
And I'm Susan Morgans from the Mount Lebanon Public Information Office. Well, the warm weather's finally here. Doors are open, windows are open, people are outside enjoying their yards. And unfortunately, at this time of year in a very densely populated community like Mount Lebanon, it's very easy to annoy our neighbors. So Laura and I thought today we'd talk about some ways to have friendly relationships with neighbors and avoid the sorts of conflicts that can end up being very disruptive. First on my list is be a responsible dog owner. I have a dog. Almost everybody in my neighborhood has a dog. And we all know that it's important, first of all, to keep those dogs from barking. Don't leave them outside for too long. And please don't go away and leave your dog outside because he or she will be barking. You'll be walking your dog a lot in warm weather. We shouldn't need to remind you, but please do pick up after your dog, and please do not put your doggy bag down the storm sewer where it will end up in somebody's yard downstream. Cats also, pay a little bit of attention to where Kitty is in the summer. Cats seem to like to lounge on neighbors' porch furniture. If you can discourage that, great, it would be welcome. A note to the neighbors: if you do have a problem with cats lounging on your furniture or coming unwanted into your yard, a squirt from a squirt gun can be a useful
That would have been
weapon.
helpful. I had one that used to sleep on my car.
Well, I'm a longtime cat owner, and it doesn't hurt them, but it does scare them. Another thing, if you have an outdoor cat, please try to remember to bring him in at night, because there is just nothing worse than being awakened at 2 a.m. by a screaming cat fight.
Except maybe an excessively loud party. In Mount Lebanon, we don't have a noise ordinance. It's up to the discretion of the police. But why go there? Why don't you just, about 9:30, 10 o'clock, turn it down and keep everybody happy?
Great. Another thing in the summer, particularly with people leaving on vacation, is to think about trash. Please put your trash out at the appropriate time, and the appropriate time is after 6 p.m. on the night of pickup. There's nothing worse than looking and smelling somebody's trash for a couple of days when they're gone. So if you're leaving town, maybe make arrangements with a neighbor to take care of the trash for you. And also, if you have a tree lawn, it's nice to place your trash cans on that tree lawn instead of on the sidewalk, because people are out walking in the summer at night and they may trip or knock your trash can over.
Another good thing to do is to keep your bushes and shrubs out of your neighbor's yard, keep them trimmed up, or you may find your neighbor doing some trimming of their own. If you feel that your neighbor's shrub is coming into your yard, although it is legal for you to trim it, the polite thing for you to do is ask the neighbor, is it okay if I trim this tree up a little bit? The chances are they'll be fine with that, but it's always nice to go the extra step and ask them first.
A little politeness goes a long way. Another thing that neighbors get pretty annoyed about is noise caused by the things that make our yards beautiful, which we all like, the beauty, not the noise. Leaf blowers, weed whackers, lawnmowers. If you're using your appliances, equipment, give a little thought to your neighbor there. Don't use the noisy things too early in the morning, too late at night, and please don't interrupt your neighbor's garden party or graduation party or whatever if you can possibly avoid it.
Another good idea is to keep your sprinklers to yourself. If you're sprinkling your yard, irrigating your lawn, keep it in your lawn. Don't be sprinkling the neighbor's car. They'll be waxing that thing for a couple of weeks. Don't sprinkle your neighbor either. That won't get you very far.
I would not like that. Also, kids. Your kids are cute, we know they are, we know they're well behaved, but they're going to be outside enjoying themselves. So set some ground rules that will keep them safe and also keep the neighbors happy. Basketball hoops tend to be a big problem in Mount Lebanon. Drivers get a little nervous at night that they're going to run into them. So have the kids pull those onto the sidewalk or into the yard at night. Maybe be sure that the kids ask permission if they're going to be cutting through a neighbor's yard on the way to the swimming pool or the recreation center. The neighbor almost always will say yes, but that's a nice thing to do. And even if your kid's going into a neighbor's yard to fetch a ball or something, remind them to close the gate if there's a fence or whatever. There's a reason that fence is there.
Right. Parking is always an issue in Mount Lebanon. If you are parking, or your neighbor is parking, or your contractor is parking, make sure you don't park directly behind the neighbor's driveway, because when the neighbor pulls out they're going to hit you or the contractor. Another good thing to keep track of is make sure you don't park so close to the neighbor's driveway that when they're pulling out, they can't see if a car is coming. On our hills, sometimes that can be a problem. So,
well, when those little fender benders happen, nobody's happy. And I have personal experience in my neighborhood. Last summer, my neighbor and I hit the same car parked at the end of the
State Farm,
driveway
hello.
within 2 days of each other. Construction projects, this is a very busy time from April all the way through October. And again, nice to let your neighbors know if you're going to be undertaking a major project. They'll be curious. Let them know how long it's going to take, what you're doing. Oh, be sure you have a building permit, by the way. And also, if you're going to be having a lot of trucks, equipment, and so forth, consider where they'll be parking. If it's possible to keep some of the eyesores out of the sight line of your neighbors, that would be a polite thing to do. And everyone in your neighborhood will surely appreciate if your construction project is finished in a timely fashion.
Well, Susan, it's time for the last one, and this is a big mea culpa for me and my neighbors. One of the things we love to do on a Friday or a Saturday night is fire up the fire pit or the chiminea, have a couple drinks, enjoy the weather. But the one thing we don't do is keep the smoke down, make sure that it's away from the property line so the smoke isn't blowing in the neighbors' yards, in their windows while they're trying to get a good night's sleep. So we're going to try much harder this year to keep a lid on it and keep it to ourselves. And that's something other people can take advice from as well.
Good for you, Laura. I'm sure your neighbors will really appreciate that, although I know you're a very good cook and it probably smells wonderful. Thank you. If you have a problem in your neighborhood that you are not able to resolve yourself, please know that the Mount Lebanon Police Department, Mount Lebanon Inspection Office, Mount Lebanon Public Information Office, and the Community Relations Board are all available to help you come to a resolution. If this is something that applies to you, please call me, Susan Morgans, 412-343-3787, and I will connect you with someone who can address your issue. Thank you.
And if you have a question about a general ordinance, our ordinances are online at www.mountlebanon.org. Everything you need is right there. Thanks for joining us today on the Mount Lebanon Minute.